Welcome everybody to the Keys to Wisdom channel. So this morning here was communicating, reading some emails from Randy, and I started to do a little bit of work and send some things back to him. And then the stuff got so big and exact that I decided instead of sending it in an email, I'm gonna make a video instead. So we've been communicating the last couple days. I've been sending some stuff over, and he's been responding back, sending some different things. But we'll start out here. We'll say 1971, Julian or Gregorian. Now within this, there's a finisher key, which is one of the Hebrew years that 1971 is represented by. 5731 to start, 5732 to finish. So we got a 5731. The next thing that I didn't even say to Randy in the emails when I was saying it up, sending the stuff over, was these two keys are very important. Right? And only one of them pertains to the Hebrew year 5731. So what we're looking at is 0314, which is 5731, and then we're looking at 1223, which is 5732. These are very important to understand what's going on here. So then I'm going to go on here. I see the Hebrew year of 5731. 19107 1971. 1971. So, right, this finisher key of 1971, that's where we started, right? It's clarified. 1971, Julian or Gregorian. That input shows us that finisher key of 5731, which is clarified right here. 5731, right? Let's just do a change. Let's say 5713. I don't know what'll happen. We'll see, right? None of the right stuff happens, right? We're not dealing with 5713. We're dealing with 5731, right? The words are clarifying the numbers, right? The words put in 1971, Julian or Gregorian, brought us to the 5731, and those words put in, I see the Hebrew year of 5731, brings us right back to the 1971 where we started, and these very, very, very key things. So in the video I got out, I put out Randy's square. I started using this phrase: we are changing the awareness of God's word for the world. In here, 5731 is the finishing key, right? Which is, have you found the beginning? To be looking for the end, for there too it will be. So that final key is the beginning key. And here we have 5732, right? So 5732 is here is for 1223, December 23rd, 1971. 5732, which is not the finisher key because it's not a beginning. It's in the middle, right? That's Randy's birth, 12/23/71, but he did not begin there, right? Randy began in 5731, which is the date of March 14th, 1971. Now, I was looking at this previously in terms of a March 2nd, 71, right? And I wasn't comprehending this. It took some other work that happened here this morning, right? So now I'm going to show that. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So this is where I began this morning. And down here in this pair of keys here, I'm looking at the 5731. Then I started looking at this in terms of an I-36, right? I-3663, D-1661. So I started looking at this as an ID marker, right? 5731. ID. And because I was working on stuff with Randy and communicating with Randy, I take this to be a sign that information said to me, this is the identifying Randy in 5731, all the stuff that you're working on. He was with God in the beginning. John 1:1-1-2. Let's see if I can move some of this up. All right. Now you're probably already looking into some of this, right? I've been talking with Randy about that relationship there, that of the 5702, right? My last video about Albert Einstein and then the dumb fucks and the this whole deal with 5702. There's a lot of involvement of this key, right? The different 5731 keys. I want you to see this pair of keys here now. It says 5731. It says 31471. Right in here. That's the date that applies to that 5731 when we are looking at that original deal that showed the whole thing, but I didn't comprehend exactly what I was seeing because I didn't have enough information at the time. Right? Now I have the information. So here, once I saw this and I saw it marking at 3:14:17 or 71 in the Hebrew year 5731, I went back. I opened up that Randy Square video, and then I shit myself to see those two keys, 4013, 3212, right? I was not processing the whole thing. We are changing the awareness of God's Word for the world. And I wasn't comprehending them as that pair. Right? I was talking properly about it being 1223, which is 5732. And then I was talking properly about conception in the beginning where he really began, 5731, and I was trying to link it to this, it's 3271, but I was overlooking that it was right here, 31471. That's the two Hebrew years, that's what they go with. 5731 goes with March 14th, and 5732 goes with December 23rd, right? So, of course, here where we are changing the awareness of God's word for the world, right? John 1:1, 1:2, that's all about God's word, right? So when the clarification and the answer to all the stuff and the exact date of everything comes out, that's where it came from, right? We are changing the awareness of God's word for the world. So another thing that I want to find out what the difference is between those two phrases, right? So 1971, Julian or Gregorian, right? That's the difference. 369 on top of 1462, 351 on top of 1381 will bring us to the 1831, 1732 of we are changing the awareness of God's word for the world. I'm sure I can build it. I had, because it's an 1836 deal, I was going to look for it, because I have remembered Biden hitting on the 1836s, right? But it actually produces a mirror, which is the wrong way. 350, right? We need the mirror of this Joe Biden SP, right? And eventually I'll put it together, but I'm imagining there'll be some significant things in those 369 over 351 phrases in terms of clarifying some of the stuff between that. But I wanted to put this out there and share this with Randy, because I think it's a wrap on birth and conception all in one place, right? And in here, right, it doesn't have the 5732 to match the 1223, right? But it's still got that, the final year where it all began for him, right? It's still matched with the date in here, right? That 369 plus 351 will bring it to the point where it'll still, these two keys will be paired together, they'll flop, one will go left, one will go right. The finisher key is the beginning will still be 5731, and then the 5732 key over here for birth will be there. It all happened in 1971, but it was all those, both of the Hebrew years are there. That's what clarifies that it's 1971. Right? I see the Hebrew year of 5731, right? 1971. So that's like a loop connecting the two calendar systems back and forth, right? 1971 Julian or Gregorian jumps right to the exact Hebrew year 5731 that 1971 begins with, right? And in that beginning portion of the year is where Randy began, not at the end portion where Randy was born. So let's put that in one more time. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, right? John 1:1. That's what led me to continue looking on here, right? 57:31, and saying an ID, identifying, right? And he was with God in the beginning. John 1:1-1-2. 57:31, March 14th, 1971. In the beginning. And it's just another way to put it. The same thing that is being shown. We are changing the awareness of God's Word for the world. Alright, the same thing. 3:14, 57:31 is 3:14:71. 12:23, 57:32 is 12:23:71. Right. So I think that's a wrap on that. I will send the email over to Randy also, and I'll put this out there. And Randy is getting fairly advanced at working through the Word, so perhaps there's some stuff that he'll be able to show me and teach me about this, and stuff that he may be able to find in terms of those 369, 351s, coming up with the difference between 1971 Julian or Gregorian and this phrase right here. But this one here, when I first got into it, I didn't comprehend it all the way, but these are together. This is birth, this is conception, this is birth, this is conception. It's all in one place, right? And we go to that place, John 1:1, John 1:2, and it clarifies it exactly. The Hebrew year, 57:31, with 3:14:71. So anyways, that's a wrap. If you please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you think that's something you should do. And have a nice day.